Well, hello and welcome. I'm Miss Heard with Miss Heard Song Lyrics Podcast. We're in Season 5, Episode 260. That's right, 260. And we're doing our first ever The Hues Corporation Miss Heard Song Lyric. The Miss Heard lyric is, "So I'd like to know where you got the nose job." And then the correct lyrics is, "So I'd like to know where you got the notion." This is a perfect song for Michael Jackson like that. How many nose jobs has that guy had? A lot. But you cannot unhear it. It does sound like they're singing about nose job. So let's talk about them because they sang the song Rock the Boat. That's what we're talking about today. And it is sung by the Hues Corporation, Hues, like Hughes. And it's an American trio and written by a Wally Holmes. So we'll go into more detail of who the Hues Corporation is. So they're an American pop and soul trio formed back in 1969. Wow, in Santa Monica, California. They're best known for this wonderful song from 1974, 40 years ago already, Rock the Boat, which sold over 2 million copies, which again, back in the day, people didn't download anything. They had to go to the record store to buy the vinyl or whatever. I don't think it was 1974, no cassette yet. It was all vinyl. So there you go. So a little known thing of why they call themselves the Hues Corporation and who they all were. So before they became very successful with how we know them today, they were actually an opening act for a lot of big names back in the day. They were an opening act for Frank Sinatra, Milton Berle, Nancy Sinatra, his daughter, and Glenn Campbell. The original band had a lineup of 3 singers and 3 sidemen, so a total actually of 6 before it became the trio that we know today. The sidemen were Joey Rivera from the Checkmates, Monty Lawston, and Bob Bullet Bailey, formerly of The Leaves. Bailey, Rivera, and Lawston left the band to form Good Stuff. So there's that 3 left. And then we have now a trio left. Did you know that the reason for them calling themselves the Hues Corporation, it's spelled Hues, so the Hues, it's a pun on famous multi-millionaire at the time. I don't know if he was a billionaire then. Howard Hughes, he spelled his last name Hughes Corporation. So they thought it'd be funny to call themselves the Hues Corporation, but change it with a pun of Hues because of its synonym of color. And they're a trio of color, beautiful people. The band members at the time of their first album were these 3. So St. Clair Lee, born back on April 24th, 1944 in San Francisco, so a Taurus, just like myself, died back in March 8, 2011. And then the second was Fleming Williams, born December 26, 1943 in Flint, Michigan, Motor City, USA, died February 15th, 1998. And then the third, which is the female, Hubert Ann Kelly. She was born also on April 24th, so same birthday as her co-band person, St. Clair Lee, but in 1947, where St. Clair Lee was born in 1944. She was born in Fairfield, Alabama, and she also died just recently in 2023. So all 3 members are no longer with us, but their song and legacy still is. So I love it. And originally I had said that the reason why they called themselves the Hues Corporation is they wanted to be the children of Howard Hughes, but their record label turned that down. So they changed it a bit and changed it to the Hues, Hues Corporation. So that is hilarious. So what's the span of this group? So the group was formed in 1969 by songwriter Wally Holmes, who founded the group with his friend Bernard St. Clair Lee. And then female singer Ann Kelly was found at a talent show in LA. And as a result of notices placed in Southern California record stores, Carl Russell turned up. They recorded a single called Good Footin', We're Keeping Our Business, that was released by Liberty Records in 1970. It did not chart. That's why you don't know about it. Still, with Carl Russell, the group's first big break came in 1972, my birth year. I love it. When they were invited to appear in the blaxploitation film Blacula, I love it, Blacula, starring a William Marshall. They were asked to record 3 songs for the film soundtrack. So Blacula got them where they need to be. The 3 were There He Is Again, What the World Knows, and I'm Gonna Catch You. After they participated in this Blacula project, Carl Russell was replaced by Fleming Williams, and the group signed on with RCA Records. Their second single for the label, Freedom for the Stallion, from the album of the same name, became a moderate hit, reaching number 63 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, or in the middle there. So that's how they all came to be. And back to the song, when it was written, it was actually featured on their 1973 debut album, also called Freedom for the Stallion. The single edit later appeared on certain editions of the band's 1974 second album called Rock and Soul. What is it about other than, hey, don't push someone's button, essentially. It's not about actually being on a boat. We're on a boat and learning how to boat, I guess. Holmes wrote the song for the band's first album and started the song with the line, "Ever since our voyage of love began." In an attempt to make it more punchy, producer John Flores suggested starting with the line, "Maybe you should try this line, so I'd like to know where you got the notion," which is our misheard, because it doesn't sound like notion, it sounds like nose job. The song featured, of course, lead vocals by Fleming Williams, who left the Hues Corporation shortly after the song was recorded. It's like, peace out, brothers. After I've made this hit, I'm on my own. And according to the Billboard Book of #1 Hits by Fred Bronson, the lone female member of the group, H. Ann Kelly, had originally been pegged to sing lead, but this idea was discarded for the fear of groups with female lead singers were less commercially viable. Isn't that funny? It's like they didn't think a female lead can hold them through. And then the bass player on the session was a Wilton Felder, not James Jamerson, as sometimes reported. So we're giving credit to where credit's due to Wilton Felder. And then Flores also brought in two other members of the Jazz Crusaders, Joe Sample on piano and Larry Carlton on guitar, as well as a Jim Gordon on drums. Wally Holmes wrote and played the trumpet line. I did not know that. And then producer John Flores did not like the lyrics for Rock the Boat, calling them trite. And it was really for the B-side. He didn't think it was going to be a big hit. And then what happened was there was a response when it was played at New York City dance clubs. Flores then remixed the song to boost the bass and rhythm instruments, and it was quickly re-released, becoming a smash. Just had to give it a glow. Glow up is what we call. You know what I mean? And then the Hues Corporation member St. Clair Lee claims it was, quote unquote, it was a song that you could do anything on. You could cuddle, you can go crazy if you wanted to. It was a love song without being a love song, but it was a disco hit, and it happened because of the discos. Thanks to disco. It was released as the third single from the album in early 1974 to follow up Stallion's Little Song, which had peaked at number 63, like I said earlier, on the Hot 100, and Miracle Maker's Sweet Soul Shaker, which it did not chart. And even though they thought Rock the Boat would be a flop, it did well because, like I said, of the radio airplay that came from everyone loving it in the discos. The third single from the album, Rock the Boat, became a #1 hit on the Billboard chart and the group's signature songs, what they're known for. And it was, as you know, written by Holmes, and thank God to the Blacula movies that got them to where they need to be. They say here, many sources have said, not only the song became a disco favorite in New York, did Top 40 radio finally pick up the song, leading the record to finally enter the Hot 100 and zip up the chart to #1 the week of July 6, 1974, hot, 4th of July week. It's only 7th week on the chart and 4th week in the top 40, so quick rise. It went to #1 for 1 week in the U.S. and #6 for 2 weeks in the U.K., staying for 18 weeks in the U.S. chart with a gold disc awarded by the RIAA on June 24th, 1974, so 40 years ago. Like I said earlier, it sold 2 million copies, and it's considered one of the earliest disco songs. Now, some authorities out there in disco, there's the disco police. Imagine, that'd be so awesome. Imagine what their uniforms would look like. It would be glitter. I know it would. Sequins and glitter. Well, anyway, some authorities proclaim it to be the first disco song to hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, while others say, no, that's actually Love's Theme by Love Unlimited Orchestra, or TSOP. It stands for The Sound of Philadelphia, by MFSB, both chart toppers from earlier in 1974. The song became a gold record. And then after the success of Rock the Boat, the Hues Corporation also charted other singles in the top 100, including Rock and Soul in 1974, #18 on the chart. Love Corporation in 1975, right in the middle, it was a number 62 spot. And I Caught Your Act in 1977 for a number 92, but never up in the top 10 and not top 1 since Rock the Boat. And of course, they were not able to duplicate that success with Rock the Boat, and so they disbanded sometime around 1980. There are sources that claim that they actually disbanded earlier than 1980, as of 1978, but it's here nor there. They did disband, unfortunately. However, when disco became popular again in the 90s, which is where I grew up, they actually reunited for tour dates and special events, including the PBS special Get Down Tonight, the Disco Explosion. I need to check that. It's probably on YouTube. And what I love is it's actually the song Rock the Boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. is commonly performed at weddings and birthdays involving many people sitting down in a row and rowing a boat to the tune of the song. I have never experienced this in either a wedding or birthday, but we need to get this going. And apparently it was also popular because this was featured in a TV series, Dairy Girls, which a lot of people love and talk about. A similar dance is done in parts of the United Kingdom to Oops Upside Your Head. And then a Richard Finch of Casey and the Sunshine Band, do a little thing, make a little love, get down tonight, said that this song, Rock the Boat, was a partial role in inspiring the hit Rock Your Baby. So if they hadn't done that, maybe we wouldn't have gotten Rock Your Baby from Casey and the Sunshine Band. There's no official music video, but there was one kind of done. It's actually on YouTube. It was uploaded on YouTube back on November 6, 2015. So this November will be 9 years. It's at a whopping 12.4 million views. And what it is the Hues Corporation in amazing yellow outfits, dancing, like obviously with a green screen behind them. And the original broadcast date of this video was on June 22nd, 1974. So as of last or 2 months ago, it hit 40 years old. And it was on a show called Top Pop. If you've never heard of it, Top Pop is kind of like our American Bandstand in the United States. It was first regular dedicated pop music TV show in Dutch language area, so all the Dutch people know it. Dutch broadcaster AVRO aired the program weekly from 1970 to 1988, and there was presenter Ad Visser hosted the show for its 15 years and had many world famous artists, including on Top Pop, not Top of the Pops, which they have in UK, but Top Pop. ABBA was on there, no surprise. 10cc, Bee Gees, The Jacksons with Michael Jackson, David Bowie, Earth and Fire. I don't see a wind in here. What happened? Queen, Golden Earring, Boney M, Casey and the Sunshine Band, just talked about them, Chic, Donna Summer, and many more, including the Hues Corporation. So now you know, it's not about where the person got the nose job, but it's you got the notion. And I love the song, and I'm so glad it's still rocking, even though the trio has since left us and left us a wonderful disco legacy. If you have great songs like this as a suggestion, please send it to any of our sites like Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, or just send me an email at missheard, that's MISSHEARD songs @gmail.com. Till then, keep singing the songs wrong. Bye.